Okay, cool. So we're here with Harry and Harrison from Vero Talent. Super excited to have the guys on today. The guys have been in the program for a short while now. Just wanted to run through and explain the process so far, some of the results, and what their business is doing right now. So lovely to see you both. Would you mind giving us, just to give us a kick off, just giving us like a high level bird's eye view of what business you guys are actually in and what you guys are doing over here?
Yeah, so we essentially help people with email infrastructure. So long story short, we came from a background working for like a big software provider in the recruitment space. A common problem that we typically came across was people having issues with email deliverability. So it's kind of something we invested a fair bit of time looking into and how we could help clients with that at the time. Found the solution. I'm like, well, hang on, why don't we just do our own thing and sort of start our own business? So sort of a snapshot of what we do really is that we will help people install the correct infrastructure for sending out things like email campaigns, mail shots, that kind of stuff, and then give them some training on best practices, how to use it, how to get the most out of it, and we'll partner with them over a 3 to 6 month period, just depending on what they would need. And then it's essentially just ensuring that they have everything in place that they'd need, and then eventually they won't need to work with us any further from that point.
Cool. And is there a specific type of client? You mentioned that you got a recruitment background. Are you guys working with a specific type of client, or is it more broad B2B kind of stuff?
Yeah, so we go specifically after recruitment companies just because that's where the majority of our expertise lies. So at present, it's around sort of the 1 to 20 sort of person space for recruitment companies.
Perfect. So I know you guys obviously we chatted quite extensively about your previous history of both working in a job before, and that's kind of where you guys started. Walk us through the kind of evolution of that. So you started in the job, decided you want to start a business, and then went through your own kind of process of learning and not getting traction and whatnot, and then joined the program. And like, talk me through that whole evolution from like the day you guys decided to quit your jobs, or like, what did that look like for you guys? It's a bit of a story.
Yeah, it was pretty scary at first, but we thought, why not just kind of have a crack at something? And it was pretty steep learning curve because nobody really tells you what you should be focusing on or what you should be doing. So it was a lot of, I'd like to say organized chaos, but a lot of chaos at the start, just like seeing what we should be focusing on and what we should actually be doing day to day. And then started to get a fair bit of momentum once we kind of like refined our offer and started working with you guys because you guys told us like what to focus on, and we were wasting time on things that didn't really matter outside of the core offer and just helping clients. So once we kind of focused on sales and just delivering an insane service to our clients basically, and those people that we partner with, which we're super grateful for, that's when we started to get a little bit of momentum and things started to take off.
Nice. And like looping back to when you were in your job, like what was the feelings that you were having when you were in your job? Like what was the big motivation behind wanting to leave?
Not necessarily wanting to leave, more so just about wanting to build something. Like, I don't know, my whole life personally, I've always just wanted to build something that's my own and just kind of have the freedom to be able to do that and not have to request time off for a mate's wedding or like take an afternoon off if need be for a family emergency and have to ping a boss on Slack and them not reply and be super stressed. Like just little things like that kind of worried me a little bit. Like the thought of that for the rest of my life was a bit scary. And also just building something was pretty exciting, and to be able to do it with Harry's been pretty cool.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I think similar things, and also just like Harrison said, like you're building it for yourself, which in turn to hopefully earn that financial freedom. But I think a big thing for us as well is sort of taking back control of like the client experience. So in our previous role, a lot of times we'd hand it over to other departments after we kind of made the sale, where at least now we're fully involved from every single piece, which I personally enjoy a lot more, just because once you actually sell them on something, you can then help them actually deliver the results. So that's been a big thing for us too. But I think to be fair as well, just like the challenge, like there's in the corporate job, you could go through a week, for example, and can just be the same thing. You're getting a load of inbound leads that you're not having to do anything for, where now it's all hands on deck every day, trying to speak to as many people, put out as many fires as possible. And just sort of growing and learning as we sort of develop.
Yeah, you guys are obviously killing it now, and we'll dive into that in just a second. But talk to me about you guys decided the period between when you guys started the business and before you joined the program. Like, what was that period like for you guys?
Yeah, the reason we both hesitate, it's we were just going around in circles, to be honest. I think the thing for us, which has been like quite a big learning curve, is to kind of take the emotion out of the decision and just rely on the data you're getting back from what you do. So we did about 4 or 5 different website rebrands and all these different things, which were completely counterproductive. After we sort of spoke with you and Oscar initially, you were literally just like, forget all of that, just focus on the sales part. Like, you guys know how to sell, do that. And then in the space of literally a month, we went from how do we even book a sales meeting when it's all on us to do, to, oh, how do we implement 5 clients?
So you guys signed 5 clients in the first, say, few weeks?
Yes. So prior to working with you guys, we'd signed 1 client through sort of a referral. But yeah, from within 30 days of working you guys, we went from 0 to 5. Yeah, calls booked in, pipeline full. So yeah, pretty significant change.
Epic. And what kind of pricing model are you guys going for with the people, those leads that as they come in, you're closing some deals? Like, how much are you guys charging for the services right now?
So it's basically a one-time setup. So instead of being like a pay-per-meeting agency, and they just don't really scale. Like, a lot of those agencies will charge you booking fees and success fees and meeting fees, and you tend to get into a bit of an awkward back and forth over what an actual qualified meeting is. Like, if that person doesn't show up or you don't close them, you've just paid an agency like hundreds of pounds for nothing, basically. And you also don't get to see what's happening behind the scenes. Whereas with us, we show you and implement the entire system, so you actually own everything, like infrastructure, the tech, the domains, mailboxes, the copy, the leads, the data, like basically everything. So it's a one-time setup fee, and then continued, as Harry said, 3 to 6 month partnership, depending on how long people would need. And what we say to people is, we like to think beyond that, more than happy to continue partnering with you, but beyond that, you probably won't need us, because we teach you absolutely everything that a paper meeting model agency would have done for you anyway, but you actually own everything.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Any kind of, we can not talk about pricing if you don't want to, but like, currently, what are you guys pricing the service at? Like, and obviously, where would you like to get that to?
It's currently it's like in the works, because it depends on the size, and there's so many variables like email volume and things like that and what people need. But every single client we've spoken with, they've been like, okay, that's fair, and they get a pretty significant ROI.
Mm-hmm. Great. Perfect. And like, how are you guys actually getting the clients in the first place? Like, what's happening?
We run loads of outbounds on email, LinkedIn, calling like people that we know, using our network, referrals. Once people are kind of getting results, that kind of thing. Like, we do put our money where our mouth is on what our system actually is and what we're actually providing to clients. So 9 times out of 10, when people are like, well, how do I know this will work? And they're on a meeting with us, we can say, well, we sent you some pretty good emails and you booked a call and we're on a meeting, right? That's what you want with your clients. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to make happen. You said you're not getting as many meetings as you would like. Our system generates this.
Yeah. Okay. And so walk me through what the difference is between running a business and your lead gen and your offer, and like all the resources you guys have got now versus beforehand. Like, what's the main comparison between how you were running Upbound before versus how you're running it now?
Yeah, I think before we were just so fixated on all these different things that we were just not just sticking to one sort of method. So in terms of our emails, like prior to chatting with like sort of you and Oscar, it would be, we'd try something for a week and then we'd pivot, where you would just leave it, we set and forget. And then we started just getting people coming in on autopilot. And then we sort of added into that the LinkedIn automation piece as well, which got us some quite quick results too, just from people in our network that we hadn't even thought to message start to come back to us. So yeah, I think the key for us really is just being held accountable, and the sort of consistency of just focus on the most important thing, which is generating revenue. And you can look at the other stuff later on. What
does your sales process look like? So you're emailing these people and messaging them and getting in front of them on LinkedIn as well. Like, what does that process look like once they express some level of interest in what it is you guys are doing? What is the whole from that moment until they close the deal with you guys and sign on?
We basically, half the time in our outbound, we just ask if people would like more details. We don't try to book meetings or anything like that. We just say like, does this sound interesting? Yes or no, kind of thing. And a lot of people will just say, yeah, this does sound interesting. We say, great. Before we can actually see whether or not we can help you, we'll send them a really, really nice gamma that we've built that just runs through exactly what we do, with a really nice headline that we went through, a bunch of case studies, bunch of results, bunch of testimonials, quotes, recommendations, all that kind of thing. The exact process, what it looks like, step by step, a few logos that we work with, kind of a little bit of information about us. And then I simply say to people, if this looks good, there's an option for you to book a call at the bottom. So instead of saying, look at this and then book in with me, I'm like, look, check this out. If you're happy with it, there's a calendar link at the bottom and you can pick a slot. That's all we do basically. And honestly, 9 times out of 10 people book a slot. And if they don't, I'll just give them a call like a week later. I'll be like, hey, was this not interesting? And pretty much every time they're like, oh no, sorry, I just forgot to book, and then we'll book in a call with them, and then just hop on a chat with them and go from there.
Nice. So the doc is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you guys.
Yeah, I find it's a path of least resistance for people because everyone feels like they're getting sold to, and we're not trying to sell anything. We're purely just trying to help people, and we do have a guarantee that the system will pay itself off in 90 days or less. So we can't offer that to everyone. So we need to make sure we can actually help them first, and make sure we can actually help them hit that guarantee, because the pressure's all on us.
Harry, do you want to add anything to that actually before? I think it's quite a cool topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long have you got? Like, it's
We've got time.
Yeah, the amount of stuff we were just fixating on, which in hindsight is just absolutely ridiculous. But I think the thing for us, which was kind of weird in hindsight, is that we did quite a lot of reading. So we read a lot of business books, and there are all these different concepts, and you need to do this and that. But the problem is that we read so many that they all start to conflict with each other. So you end up with, we basically would have been better off not reading them, because everything that we'd learned was then starting to contradict what we thought we meant to do. So we got to a point where we came up with an offer, and then one of us would read another page in a book and then think, oh, we should do this differently. And then it would be, oh, the website doesn't look great, or this email should say this. And then before you know it, you've actually achieved nothing. So the thing we did was, after speaking to you lads in particular with that IQ bell curve, is just like, hang on a minute, like, what is the most basic thing we can do here? Which makes, like, don't second guess it, we'll just do it. Once we started doing that, like, same with the emails, same with our content, everything, people were like, oh, so this is what you sell, we didn't understand before. I'm like, yes. So it was just stripping everything back and kind of starting again.
Nice. It feels hard to go back to the basics though, because I know that a lot of people that come into the program and like are considering it, they have all these ideas and different business concepts, kind of like you just said, like they're stumbling over the things that don't necessarily matter, but they don't see it because they don't realize and think it matters. What would be your advice to those kind of people that are almost not taking the right actions, or scared to take action, or just kind of confused with the amount of information that they've got in their head?
I'd say hop on a call with you and Oscar and get grilled on what actually matters. It was a very humbling experience chatting with you guys, and it was actually quite nice because it made us open our eyes a little bit. For me especially, that I was just worried about things that wouldn't matter. I was very obsessed over making everything bulletproof before we launch, before we scale, before we start chatting with people, because like a bit of a what if mentality, whereas you were just kind of like, just go for it, you'll figure it out, like play to your strengths type of thing. So in terms of advice, I would say, yeah, chat with you guys and learn a little bit about how to, yeah, play to your strengths and focus on what matters.
In terms of revenue, cash collected in the first 4-6 weeks of the program, what does that look like, if you're happy to share?
I'm not sure if we might need to edit this out. Sorry, James, but I'm not sure. I'll just have to check.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
I mean, to be frank, like it's more now, but you accelerated our progress from going to our first 10K month, basically, which is like the holy grail of, it's put on this massive pedestal that you see all over social media. And once you start doing this kind of thing and reading all the books and videos and watching like entrepreneurs and all that kind of stuff, everyone talks about the 10K month, and we were like, oh, hopefully we get there by the end of the next year, or maybe like ambitiously mid next year. And after working with you guys, I mean, yeah, happy to say that we did go straight to our very first 10K month after working with you.
Nice. And how long did that take after joining and getting to that milestone that you guys on a pedestal?
I think it was just under 2 weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was rapid, to be honest. Yeah, we kind of sat there when we did it. When we messaged you in our Slack chat, we were like, I think we've done something kind of cool. And you were like, yeah. We were like, that's really strange. But yeah.
It doesn't feel real, right?
The conversation switched very quickly from like, how do we like get some people over the line, to how we getting all these people implemented in time, because there's so many different moving parts. So it was a pretty sudden change, but both pretty delighted with how it turned out.
What is that delivery process looking like for you guys, in terms of like, how are you handling the influx of clients that come in without being necessarily ready for it or expecting it?
Yeah, a key thing that we did was actually dividing up the roles. So Harrison now handles all the sales side. I handle like the delivery implementation stuff. So in terms of the process, so Speaker Harrison, once payments made and they've all signed up, we would then work internally to put together some custom instructions to pay, depending on what their requirements are. So things like sending volume, do they use LinkedIn to automation, that kind of stuff. And we then book in an implementation call, talk them through like the whole process, what they need to do, set them up with the instructions, and add them to a Slack channel. they'll then go away and do the things they need to do. Reason being for that as well is that there's certain softwares they have to pay for, so they just don't want us watching them put their card details in for an hour. So we let them do that, and then they also get those instructions to keep as well. So if they look to scale later on, they have everything they need. Take them through that process, and then there's just like a 14-day warm-up period for the domains as standard before they start sending. And during that period, Harris and I sort of share the responsibility for like reviewing their email copy, helping them like sort out and clean up their leads list, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, after that point, away they go. Then we'll just work with them for the remainder of the 90 days or 6 months, depending on which option they've gone for, just to keep optimizing and improving things as we go.
So it wasn't too much of a stress. It was probably a little bit of a panic to start with, but you guys handled it pretty easily.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, just the relief that we were no longer spinning our wheels, and we were kind of just happy to get our sort of teeth stuck into it. And just like you said, with the IQ bell curve, just stop worrying about like the what ifs and just focus on the actual feedback you're getting. Because a big problem that we had was like, well, what if people say this or that? And then you said to us, actually, I think when you tore us apart on that first call, it's like, well, has anyone actually said that to you? And we were like, no. He's like, well, just don't worry about it then. And just with that approach, even with things that we've done since, just wait until we get feedback. Because like you said, everything's just a data point. Wait until you actually get the data, then make a decision rather than just assuming what people either do or don't want.
Nice, very nice. And so the goal for you guys, I know we had the wonderful pleasure of meeting up in London a couple of weeks ago and going for some dinner. Was it last week? We had a discussion about your guys' future growth and where you want to take the business. But what does the vision look like for you guys right now, and what's the plan to get there?
Just want to help more people, to be honest. Like, it's actually quite fun and quite rewarding, because we feel like we're genuinely, as Harry said earlier, like we are able to be ourselves and offer this sick service, for lack of a better term, and just like be really nice to people and like not have to worry about handing them off to another team or anything like that, and then support tickets and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's literally just like, cool, you're working with us. And we've had a few people ask like, what happens after I sign up? Like, you continue working with us. Like, it's us and our team of Kelly and Mia, who are brilliant as well, of course. But in terms of client delivery, Harry's like, you'll be with me. And a lot of people expect the answer of like, oh, you'll be handed over to a 6-week onboarding video program, and then you'll have this kind of thing, and then you'll have support, and then all this kind of stuff. But it's like, you work directly with us. So to answer your question, it's just a matter of helping as many people as possible with the issue, and people that want to make more money with outbound, basically, and then scale it.
Did you guys come to a revenue goal for 2026 that you're aiming for?
Oh, not entirely sure just yet, to be honest. Haven't put a number in place. We do need to before the year ends, but whatever we set, I know we're going to hit it.
That's good, man. Good stuff. Couple more from me, and then I appreciate your guys' time. I'll let you crack on and see if there's anything else we can help you guys out with. If you guys had all of your connections removed, all of your network, all of your clients churned, and they wanted refunds, if you were starting like back at zero again, what would you guys do to build it back up as quickly as possible?
I think that the kind of lucky thing for us in a sense is that the thing that we sell to clients is the thing that we use to win clients. So it's kind of useful in a sense, because like Harrison said earlier, when you get people on a call and it's like, well, how do we know this works? It's like, well, you're on the call, right? So it's we can basically, like Harrison said, put our money where our mouth is. So I think if we were to start from scratch, I'd strip out the website obsession and all this stuff, and it would just be, how are we going to basically partner with a client this week? Like, what is the only thing we need to do that? And it would just be basically volume on outbound. And also a key thing that we've learned as well is, again, down to simplicity, is just make sure that the messaging that you have and you're sending to people speaks to them. So as if it's addressing them directly rather than like general messaging, because if you're just addressing like a general pain point, if it doesn't speak to someone directly, they'll think, oh, this isn't for me, even though it might be. So it's just, again, just making it as target as possible, but as simple as possible.
Yeah, I would just say stripping out all of the BS that I was obsessing over. Key things being making it bulletproof. The amount of times I said that word kills me, and quite cringy in hindsight, and obsessing over the website font and gradients and LinkedIn banners and all this kind of stuff. It's just, think about your offer. We'd have our offer more clear. Start exactly what we do, dumb it down so anybody could understand, have a guarantee in place, which we've got, and just go for it quicker, just speed, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, love it. Get the offer clear, launch it.
Yep.
Chat, sell, deliver, repeat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Last one from me, guys. Is there anything else you want to mention that has been good, bad feedback? Like, if anyone else is watching the video, like what you would want to tell them, any of that kind of stuff, feel free to put it out there.
I'll just quickly say it's definitely worth having a chat with you guys. We kind of came off that call, and I kind of sat off it, like staring at a wall for about 10 minutes about how much time we've been wasting, and it's very nice just to kind of hear exactly what you need to be focusing on, and what might be wasting your time and that kind of thing. And that's all it's about, really. Like, I heard an analogy from a friend of mine, Kyle, who is the CEO and founder of Untapped, a very successful business. I was chatting with him yesterday. He said, if you're on the wrong train, you're going to keep going in the wrong direction, and you just want to like get off and come back. You helped us get off and come back to where we actually needed to go.
Yeah, I think to just reiterate that as well, it isn't, when we signed up with you guys, like we've signed up with like sort of mentors and people before, and it's you sort of take your money and then it's like, well, good luck. Where with you guys, like even when we were in the process of like speaking with our, like the first people that started coming back to us asking for calls, like you helped us through that process as well, which now is given us like a set way of working, so that we know if someone does this is what we do. So I think it was, yeah, just clarity you gave us was just extremely helpful. And like Harrison said, like I'm not sure if our train was going the wrong way. I think it was doing donuts, but it's yeah, been particularly helpful. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'd recommend anyone to speak to you guys.
Love it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the kind words there. I'll bring us to a close. So I appreciate everybody's time, and we'll resume afterwards.